Good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. This video is not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Okay, guys, welcome back. So this video is going to be about a number of different things. I'm going to start off talking about ICP, and then I'm going to segue into kind of like a part two from my last video, just talking about the industry more broadly and trying to make sense of what's going on across this entire space. But starting with ICP, the Swiss government, and other people have covered this, but it's worth guys, there has to be a solution for all of this at some point in time. Let's just say, speaking hypothetically, worst case scenario, this entire fucking industry goes to zero. And honestly, the industry, in many respects, deserves to go to fucking zero. But let's just say that does happen, okay? This is still one of the biggest problems on Earth, if not the biggest problem on Earth. And when you tie in cybercrime and AI together, because they're both very related, interconnected problems and opportunities. But when you look at them together, there has to be solutions for these two things. Okay. I'm not saying it has to be ICP specifically. I'm just saying that right now, out of all different tech on Earth that could potentially solve these problems, ICP is the only one that I see that has the functionality to do so. Right. And so even if this entire fucking space goes to zero, I wasn't planning on this being a rant, but it kind of feels like that's starting to come out of me right now. So this video might go off the rails. I'm just going to give you that disclaimer. Even if all this tech goes to zero, these problems still have to be solved at some point in time. We are on an unsustainable path over the, maybe not for this week or this month. We're talking about global systems here. So any type of major changes would take time. It would take years for those to play out. And you would have to kind of zoom out and look out over a longer time frame to see the progression and the different signals that the universe is kind of shooting at you, like Switzerland saying, hey, y'all should all leave big tech cloud providers because they're not secure. Right? And or big tech cloud themselves, Google Cloud, saying our systems aren't secure and this should be deemed a national security threat, right? You have to kind of see the signals playing out over time and then say, where are the solutions to all of these problems? And just this is just general security issues with cloud providers. We haven't even got into all the other issues that AI creates on top of this. Okay. So maybe the whole industry blows up. Okay. But even if that were the case, all of these problems are still some of the biggest problems on Earth, and they have to be solved at some point in time because we are on an unsustainable path to the point to where now Switzerland is just openly recommending that people pivot away from big tech cloud providers. And coincidentally, dfinity is headquartered in Switzerland, has very good relationships in Switzerland, and already received some degree of adoption with CKBTC in Lugano, right? And other events and things and developments that have happened throughout Switzerland, the Swiss subnet, so on and so forth, right? So I'm not sitting here saying the only part of all of this that's even remotely concerning to me is the industry itself. I have no concerns about ICP, ICP's technology, about anything ever relating to dfinity. I have no concerns about that. If I have any concerns at all, it's that unfortunately, ICP is not on an island by itself, just as a technology. It is unfortunately intertwined with this fucking scam industry that now it has a market, a derivatives market attached to it for price control and price management. And it's looped into all of these other systems, and which this whole industry is pretty much co-opted. And perception management really is the game with media companies, with the market itself, with all of these different VCs, with everything. And so they've kind of created this perception in people's minds, and they've confused the shit out of everybody in this entire space over the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years. And at this point, we're just complete, like the emperor has no clothes, the curtain has pulled back, and even the people who are invested in these other, listen, nobody in this industry has any real conviction in the future of this tech. A lot of people are just hoping. And the people that do have real conviction in the future of this tech most likely understand that ICP is going to be a big part of it, because none of this makes sense without ICP. So, and there's a reason, like, think about how crazy this is. I'm kind of jumping ahead now, but think about how crazy this is. There are no conversations in this entire industry about here's where we are right now There's no fucking products. That's where we are. There's no fucking products in this entire industry. Really, outside of what's on ICP, when you look at something like OpenChat, and even though, yes, it is early for a solution like OpenChat, a secure, fully on-chain messaging application. Think about how much has been in the news about these different messaging applications stealing your data and sending it off to the feds or the intelligence agencies, or they're spying on you through X, Y, and Z, and or they're just getting hacked, or you're getting scammed to infinity on these fucking messaging applications because there's no way to really prevent that. So if we're talking about products in this industry, I would argue OpenChat, even though it's early, is a very legitimate, serious player in that space, which the messaging application space is a big fucking space. And then Caffeine, which is by far the best product in the whole industry. And there's no, what would you even say are the other products in this outside of stuff on ICP? And just using ICP as secure cloud storage, that itself is a huge fucking product. What other products would you say are in this industry? Uniswap, trading tokens that have no fucking utility on a DEX that's running on Amazon Web Services. Those are the only other products. And we're like pump.fun and the others. And there's no problems being solved there. That's what the industry skipped over. They created their own criteria in their own ways to analyze software systems, and they just, oh, we'll just use TVL. We'll use a bunch of metrics and criteria that we can fabricate very easily, and then we'll say, because of X, Y, and Z, these are the most important things in the space, even though there's no problems being solved. That's what they skipped over. The whole fucking industry skipped over where here are we solving problems? We're trading tokens on Amazon Web Services. These tokens have no real utility. What problems are we solving? Fucking none. But they brainwash people in this whole space, like to a degree that people cannot think critically anymore in this industry. Let me just get into the. I still haven't even started the video yet, so let me go ahead. This might end up being a longer video, but it's a simple bet. ICP is a simple bet in all reality. It is a bet on cybercrime and web fragility becoming bad enough to where new, more secure software systems have to be adopted. But again, timing here. This is going to happen over a long time frame, guys. Every single corporation, and I assume the same case for governments as well, every single one has to have their company data and their more sensitive company data. They have to have backups for all of this. Let's just say it's a law firm, CPA firm, doesn't matter, biotech company. Let's just say by chance they're using their own servers on site for all their company data. Well, they're going to have a backup because maybe their whole location blows up. Maybe it goes up in flames. Maybe there's a big flood where they live, so on and so forth. So they have to have, it's a standard practice in cybersecurity all around the world. It's a universal use case, okay? So if you're storing your own company data on site, then you probably use a third-party cloud provider for backups in case your building goes up in fire. And if you're using cloud providers for your main company data and you're just trusting that it's going to be secure with them, you probably use some other type of cloud provider as a backup in case your cloud provider blows up. So the point that I'm getting to is that having a backup for company data and sensitive data is a standard universal use case. And that is one of the best use cases for ICP today. You don't need to be doing anything with the data. It needs to be somewhere where you actually have control over it and it's secure. And there is no other, every institution on earth needs a backup for their sensitive data, okay? And they can host it. They can host their data on a network, on a public network that doesn't need cybersecurity and IT, and they actually own it. This is an extremely, extremely important use case. And every other option is inferior to ICP with this specific use case. Period. If anything, like, I should probably just do a video to like Tata Consulting and all the other large IT consulting firms because they have tons of clients. They do outsource consulting and outsourced IT consulting. And they recommend different options to their clients based on what are the best options on the market. And this is already at a place where just using ICP for backing up your sensitive data, that's a huge use case that could apply to every single corporation all over the earth, all over the world. All right. But it's a simple bet. You're betting on cybercrime, web fragility becoming bad enough to where new, more secure systems have to be adopted. It's just going to take a very long period of time. And that's really where it gets people is they're tuning into fucking Twitter every single day expecting something to happen instead of just shutting the fuck up and getting off of social media because you're not mentally or emotionally cut out for being on a platform with this degree of deception and bullshit and not letting it affect you. That's just the cold hard reality of the situation. You spend less time on crypto Twitter and more time just doing research or doing any fucking thing else other than being on crypto Twitter. It is cancer in every fucking way imaginable. The amount of signal on here is so fucking microscopic compared to the amount of fucking noise and bullshit. Now, not just that cybercrime and web fragility are going to become bad enough, but that all the other problems that come from the web. Just crypto Twitter is a derivative problem of Web 2. In the future, you can't buy fake influence. You can't fake it till you make it. If what you're doing on social media is not built on real value, it fucking blows up when you move to the new system. But on Web 2, you can just fake it till you make it forever. And what it's done is it's caused the total collapse and downfall of society and culture all over the world, which I've discussed in other videos. But all the other derivative problems that come from Web 2. Now, all right, and all the AI related problems, guys. This is a simple bet at its core. Cybercrime, web fragility, which we're seeing tons of issues with this, and it's not me saying this, this is coming from Google, it's coming from the entire fucking country of Switzerland, all right? And everything ever relating to AI. These are the two biggest problems to solve, arguably, on Earth. And if they're not the two biggest by themselves, they're two of the top four biggest problems on Earth. And maybe it's not ICP. Again, maybe the whole fucking space goes to zero. All I'm saying is that this is the best positioned solution that I can find on Earth. And if you can find some other one, come let me know. But I can't. And so maybe all this doesn't move forward. I don't know. But this is the only thing I see that can solve these problems. Deploying AI on Web 2 is a million times harder because of all the IP cybercrime concerns. And it's not just when I talk about AI related problems, it's not just cybercrime. Okay. It's the guardrails and governance. It's the transparency. It's like you see all these people online freaking out about AI and all this other stuff about the future of AI. But in reality, there is a new web framework that solves for almost every single problem that people are raising. It's going to spy on us. It's going to brainwash us. We won't know what it's doing or where it's sending our data or so on and so forth. It's like all of that. There's no governance. It's all controlled by the elite. It's like all of that's solved here. One big hack could take the whole entire internet down and send us back to the Stone Age. Like all these things, all these hysterical bullshit narratives that you're hearing are solved by new, more secure systems. Again, it's just going to take a long time. It's also a bet on blockchain technology more broadly to some degree and the need for new systems to complement an AI-driven web. The potential downside risk is everything goes to fucking zero. But the problems don't go away. Okay? So even if everything goes to zero, the problems don't go away. These problems are only going to get worse, and they've only gotten worse over the last 4 years since we started this conversation. The Swiss government wasn't recommending this 2 years ago. 3 years ago, Google wasn't recommending that cybercrime be deemed a national security threat. But guess what? Over time, the problem's getting worse, and it's going to get exponentially worse with AI. It already is. And so maybe this doesn't move forward. But the problems themselves are going to continue to move forward, and somebody's going to have to fix these problems at some point in time. I don't see anything else that can do it right now other than ICP. And if you look out across the rest of this scam industry, and you want to, this is the criteria that should be used. What problems does your technology solve? Not how much TVL do you have from all these shit coins that you've pumped up to these insane valuations? And so we're going to use that as the metric and the criteria by which to judge everything else. How about we judge everything based on what fucking problems are you solving and how big those fucking problems are? But the industry doesn't want to do that because the industry knows that the rest of this industry isn't solving any fucking problems. They're just grifting and scamming. I did not plan on the video to turn out like this at all. Yeah, this is turned officially turned into an unhinged rant at this point. Okay. Um, these aren't minor issues. We are seeing stories almost daily about all of this. I don't even post about them anymore because I see them every single day about some new major exploit that happened. And if it's not about some exploit that's happened, web fragility, things like Cloudflare going down, that gets into web fragility and cybercrime are technically different issues. Okay, there could be an issue where systems go down without any type of major exploit. That just gets into web fragility. But cybercrime and web fragility are very much intertwined and sometimes overlapping issues. But on top of all that, you also have AI. And so I would say cybercrime, web fragility, and artificial intelligence, all of them are intertwined and interconnected, but they are in many ways also different problems. And ICP can address all of them. One, software systems can run on ICP without firewalls and cybersecurity. Two, if there is an issue, it can be managed and contained locally. This gets in the conversation about the blast radius, about how all these intertwined, interconnected systems on Web 2, how CrowdStrike going down can trigger a chain reaction and a domino effect across the whole fucking internet, right? Whereas on ICP, if a developer uploads some bad code or something like with one application, it can be contained in that little area on ICP because of the architecture. And then everything with AI. There's so many AI related problems on Web 2. Like, just think application code and application data being separate. That's a huge fucking problem. There's tons of problems on Web 2 with AI. Tons. The potential downside risk is everything goes to zero. The potential upside risk is this becomes the hub for Web 3 or one of the most important technologies to the future of the web and AI. If not ICP, what else? And see, that's what all these skeptics and all these grifters in this ecosystem that will never fucking leave just because they're just desperate for attention. That's all they're doing. It's not normal to leave an ecosystem and then float around all day, every day, just for your own attention and your own grifting. It's a sign of like a weak, insecure person. But if not ICP, what else? Stay on Web 2 forever? It's not sustainable. They could stay on Web 2 for another year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but the trend is unsustainable. So at some point, it doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be next week, but at some point, these problems have to be solved. And they can't fix these problems without a new web framework. They can't just slap some new fucking system over top of Web 2 and say, okay, it's fixed. Big tech could create their own, but we've been saying that for 4 or 5 years and they haven't. Right now, ICP is the leading candidate to solve these problems. And it's really the only candidate that has the technical functionality to solve these problems. Even in a world where the entire industry goes to zero, these are still some of the biggest problems on earth and they have to be solved at some point. People are tuning in day to day expecting to see change, but the change happens slowly over time. Change is 2 years ago. There's no real conversations about AI on ICP. And today, caffeine is being rolled out, but it's in its earliest days, and that should always be taken into consideration. And even if caffeine has different issues here and there, it's still light years beyond anything else in this fucking space. The only other products are applications that run on Amazon Web Services where you trade shit coins, where you trade coins that have absolutely no value. Gambling apps running on big tech cloud, gambling on tokens that are worthless. That's the other product. But people tune in day to day expecting to see things change. And it's like the change is slowly over time. The change is 2, 3 years ago, Switzerland wasn't recommending this. The changes back in 2021, Google Cloud wasn't saying this is a big problem. It needs to be deemed a national security threat. You have to zoom out and look at this over years, not fucking days or hours or anything like that. Doubters and skeptics have no outlook of the future. They have no fucking thesis, none. They just run around and they do the same shit in other ecosystems too, guys, but it's like they don't do it as much in other ecosystems because there's nobody to listen to them in other ecosystems. They use the fact that we have a large organic group of real fucking people in this ecosystem to grift. And they come around when times are scary and the market's down, and then they want to present themselves as the person who has all the answers, even though none of these people have ever built anything. So many of the fucking bitching and complaining in this ecosystem comes from people who have already fucking failed. They've already launched projects that have fucking failed. And so instead of taking responsibility for that, they blame dfinity or they blame ICP because they're just fucking losers and failures. And instead of just saying, hey, I got a little bit out over my skis here, and I'm sorry I caused y'all to lose money investing in my trash project that's going fucking nowhere. I got a little bit out over my skis, my bad, and I'll try to make it up to you in the future with something else. Or I'm not going to launch any more. That's going to be how I make it up to you. I'm not going to launch any more projects and waste your time anymore because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But that's what people do. We have tons of dead projects. Zero accountability has been taken for any of them. And all of these same fucking people that have launched dead, failed projects are pointing the finger at dfinity or pointing the finger at something with ICP. That's the pattern. Launch project, fail, blame dfinity, take no responsibility for the dead project. And why is this? Why are so many people in this ecosystem promoting ecosystem projects while you're simultaneously concerned about ICP? If you're concerned about ICP, you have no fucking business launching a project or promoting a project. Because if you have no conviction in ICP, the network level, you definitely have no conviction in whatever shit you're promoting at the application layer. You're just grifting, scamming, and extracting. And you should shut the fuck up. And you should get off of ICP Twitter and stop grifting. It's just like everything else in the rest of the space. It's just a bunch of people playing make believe. Yeah. I've been saying the same shit for over 4 fucking years, man. I've never changed my tune, ever. And I haven't made a dime doing this. But I actually have a vision of the future. I actually can explain how, in my perspective, this is going to come together. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. But I don't see anything else that can solve these problems right now. And so until something else comes along, I see no reason to change my outlook. The problems aren't getting any better. They're getting worse. Even though, admittedly, this has gone on longer than I expected, and I understand why people would be concerned. But it's like, if you can't help yourself and get off of this trash platform, it's only going to get worse. And you're ultimately just going to get shaken out. Yeah. You have to zoom out and look at this as objectively as possible. And you have to look at the value prop. Why would ICP be adopted? Why would ICP succeed? What are the problems that ICP can solve? Is there any fucking thing else on earth that can address these problems that you see right now? How big are these problems? How big is the opportunity if something could solve these problems? Let's say ICP doesn't exist. Do the problems still exist? Do these problems still have to be solved at some point? This is where your mind should be. But that's most of the time people just see something on Twitter, some scary narrative on Twitter, and it's just like off to the races. We're all going to die. It's going to go to zero. Right? Twitter is the worst fucking place on earth, man. It really is. That's all I got for this video, guys. This was really just the opening, honestly. This was really supposed to be the rest of the video. Like, I have a whole, like, another video, but I'm just going to wrap it up right there. I don't know if I'm going to post this. I got to watch it back. Yeah. But I'll do another video soon. I wasn't planning on it coming out like this. I really wasn't. But, you know, sometimes when I don't do a video for like 4, 5, 6 days, maybe a week, the next time I record, I just explode. So that's what this was. I apologize. Hopefully, you got something out of this. And yeah, not financial advice. I'll get another video out in the next couple days, just doing like the other part of this video. Yeah, that's it. Take care. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.